students, welcome you all to today's English class. Today we will discuss 5th lesson of the book First Flight, that is the 100 Races 1. This lesson is written by Althusser Esther. Now let's know about this writer first. Althusser Esther was an American children author and a children librarian. Her book Gingerfire won the New Pride medal. Eleanor based the story The 100 Dresses on her real life experience as the girl who received Peggy's hand-me-down dresses. So now, before we start the story, let's think over this question, that how do we judge the people around us? Maybe in your classroom, some students, they come from some rich background, or maybe the poor one. How do we treat them? By their money, by their wealth and possessions? Or is there something of more enduring value to look for a person? So we have to ask this question ourselves. Now, because this story is also based on the school life. That is all based on how the children, they treat each other on the basis of their family background. And this story is a sensitive account of how a young girl is judged by her classmates. Wanda Petnowski is a young Polish girl who goes to school with other American children in an American school. These other children see Wanda as different in many ways. Can you guess how they treat her? So this is all a part of the story. So let's read, and before we read, let's know about this Polish American community in the United States, because you will better understand this lesson. The first Polish immigrants arrived in America in 1608. Polish people means the people who belong to Poland, but they shifted to America and they migrated, they permanently settled there in 1608. But the largest wave of Polish immigration occurred in the early 20th century. But in early 20th century, large number of people from Poland, they migrated to America. When more than 1 million Poles migrated to the United States, the Polish state did not exist at that time, and the immigrants were identified according to their country of origin rather than to their ethnicity. So now what is there, that Polish state, that there was no Polish state that did not exist at that time, so they were considered according to their original country from where they belong to. They were identified according to that, and they were identified as Russian Poles, German Poles, or Austrian Poles. So they were called Poles or Polish people. So one of the most notable Polish American communities is in Chicago and its suburb. So Chicago is sometimes called the second largest Polish city in the world, next only to Warsaw, the capital of Poland. So in Poland, how many people lived in Poland? And the same we can say in Chicago, so many people lived in Chicago also. The same, second one is the largest was Warsaw, and then it is Chicago. So Polish Americans were sometimes discriminated against in the United States, as were the Irish, Italians and Jews. Because we know that when you settle in some other country and you don't belong to that country, you may be discriminated. And they also faced the same kind of discrimination, and they were considered as Irish if they belong to Ireland or Irish countries, or Irish, Italians and Jews. According to the United States 2000 census, 6,67,414 Americans of age 5 years and older reported Polish as the language spoken at home, which is about 1.4% of the people who speak languages other than English, or 0.25% of the US population. So that is a big population They are settled in America. They are all Polish people. So this story is also of a Polish girl. How she is treated in school, how she is bullied by her classmates, what they say her. This is all given in this lesson. So now it is given that today, Monday, Wanda Petnowski was not in her seat. That is, today means this is shown the school life. This is the school day. Monday it is the school day, and Wanda Petnowski is also a school-going student. But today she is not there on her seat. But nobody, not even Peggy and Madeline, Peggy and Mede, these are also two classmates of her, and nobody else also. They did not bother why she had not come to school. The girls who started all the fun noticed her absence. They did not notice at all. Usually, Wanda sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room 13. So, usually, Wanda, where did she sit? She sit in the next seat next to the last seat. Okay, she sat on the last benches and last row in the room 13. She sat in the corner of the room where the rough boys who did not make good marks sat. The corner of the room where there was most scuffling of feet, most roars of laughter when anything funny was said, and most mud and dirt on the floor. So this was the corner where all the bad children, means those who were not good at studies or they created disturbance in the class, all kind of students, they sat in that corner, and she also sat in that same corner. And there was the most, they did not good marks, they did not get good marks, and there was most scuffling of feet. Scuffling of feet means that they noise of the feet was there, and roars of the laughter was there, and the mud means that was all the dirty corner of the classroom. Wanda did not sit there because she was rough and noisy. Now we can say that Wanda might be also like that, but she was not like that same. She was not rough and noisy. On the contrary, she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all. She was very quiet girl and did not say anything. And nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud, and nobody even heard her laugh loud. She never laughed loudly. And sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crude sort of smile, but that was all. And she did not even smile much, and she just gave a crooked smile sometimes. Nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in that seat, but nobody knew why she sat there, unless it was because she came all the way from Boggins Heights and her feet were usually caked with dry mud. And nobody would have guessed that why did she sit on that last bench. If she did not belong to Boggins Heights, Boggins Heights was the place where all the Polish people lived, and her feet were usually caked with dry mud because she came walking to the school and there was mud on the road, so her feet were always buried under the mud. But no one really thought much about Wanda Petnowski once she sat in the corner of the room. And once she sat in the corner of the room, nobody bothered about her, nobody took care of her, and she sat there. The time when they thought about Wanda was outside of school hours. In the school classroom, nobody bothered about her, but outside her class, all the children, her classmates, they waited outside because they at that noon time when they were coming back to school or in the morning early before school began. 2 times she was remembered. That was for the when they left out of the school or when they entered the school at these 2 places. And when groups of 2 or 3 or even more would be talking and laughing on their way to the schoolyard, and when they would be laughing, talking in the classroom, schoolyard, then they would be missing Wanda. Then sometimes they waited for Wanda to have fun with her, and they just bullied her. They wanted to have fun with her. The next day, Tuesday, Wanda was not in school either, and nobody noticed her absence again. Tuesday also she did not come. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, who sat down front with other children who got good marks and who did not drag in a whole lot of mud, did notice that Wanda was not there. But third day, Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, they got good grades, and they did not belong to that place, and they did not have muddy feet. All that, they were good children, but they noticed her presence, that she was not in the class. And Peggy was the most popular girl in the school. Peggy, they are talking about Peggy, that what type of girl she is. She is a very popular girl. She is very intelligent. She was very pretty. She had many pretty clothes, and her hair was curly. She had curly hairs, pretty dresses. She belonged to a rich class. And Maddie was her closest friend. The reason Peggy and Maddie noticed Vanda's absence was because Vanda had made them late to school. Because that day they were waiting for her, but she did not come, and that's why they noticed her presence. They had waited and waited for Vanda, but to have some fun with her, she just had not come. That day also they waited, she did not come, they got late for the school, and that's why they noticed her presence. They often waited for Vanda Petnowski to have fun with her. And most often they did the same, they waited for her and made fun of her. Vanda Petnowski. Now, Vanda Petnowski, most of the children in room 30 did not have names like that. Now, Vanda Petnowski was also some kind of unusual name for their class, because in their class they had common names like Thomas, Smith, or Allen. There was only one boy named Bounce, Billy Bounce, and people thought that was funny, but not funny in the same way that Petnowski was. They made little fun of that Bounce also, but not that much of Vanda Petnowski. Vanda did not have any friends, because she was alone in the school, she was alone in the class, she had no friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that did not hang right, and she always wore a single dress, and that did not fit her well. Hang on well, please. That did not fit her well, and it was clean, but it looked as though it had never been ironed properly. Although it was clean, but it seemed that it was not ironed at all any day. She did not have any friends, but a lot of girls talked to her. She did not have friends, but other girls, they talked to her. Many girls talked to her. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard as she stood watching the little girls play hopscotch on the worn hard ground. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard, and all the other girls, they surrounded her in the schoolyard when they were playing hopscotch. Hopscotch is a game in children hop into and over square marks on the ground. So they were playing, and they surrounded that girl, Vanda Petnowski. And what did they ask her? Vanda, Peggy would say in a most courteous manner, as though she were talking to Miss Mason. So Peggy, she just talked to her, but in a very courteous way. She made fun of her, but in a very courteous way. And what she said, Vanda, she would say, giving one of her friends a nudge. She just pushed one of her friends and tell us, how many dresses did you say you had hanging up in your closet? And they asked her same question every day, that how many dresses do you have in your closet? Because she always, why did they ask her this question? Because she always wore the same dress, that blue dress, and that was too faded also. So they asked her, and you can expect what reply she would have given. She would have said that only one dress or two dresses, or maybe. But you know what she said? She would say 100 dresses, and that was quite surprising for them. And that's why 100 exclaimed all the little girls incredulously, and the little ones would stop playing hopscotch and listen. And when they listened to this 100 dresses, and all the girls, they were quite surprised. What she is saying, why she is answering like that. And incredulously means showing unwillingness to believe. They could not believe this thing at all, that she is having 100 dresses. And the little ones, they would stop playing also. Yeah, and what she would say, yeah, 100 dresses and all lined up, said Vanda. Then her thin lips drew together in silence, and she would say only this sentence, that she has dresses and they are all lined up properly. And after that, she would say that, what did she say next? What are they like? What the other asked? What are they like? And what she said? All silk, I bet, said Peggy. Now Peggy would say that maybe, okay, you have 100 dresses, so all would be of silk. Yes, yeah, all silk, all colors. I have all dresses, they are all of silk and they are all of different colors. Velvet too, you have velvet dresses also. Yeah, velvet too. 100 dresses, Vanda would repeat stolidly. Stolidly means not showing any feeling, without any feeling. She would say, yes, I have 100 dresses, all lined up in my closet. Then they would let her go, and after that they would let her go. And then before she had gone very far, they couldn't help bursting into shrieks and peals of laughter, and they would start laughing heartily on her, because what she was saying that she had 100 dresses lined up in her closet, but she wore a single dress every day. So they made fun of her, and that they wanted to listen to this answer again and again from her, and that's why they teased her, they bullied her every day. 100 dresses. Obviously, the only dress Vanda had was the blue one she wore every day. And so, why did she say she has 100 dresses? What is true? And they could not understand that why she is saying that she had 100 dresses while she was having only one dress and she just wore that blue dress. How many shoes did you say you had? And they also talked about shoes. And what she said, 60 pairs, all lined up in my closet. And she also said that these shoes, they are also lined up in the closet and they are all of different colors. Cries of exaggerated politeness greeted this, all alike. So, cries of exaggerated politeness. That was not the actual one, but that was exaggerated. Means they just tried to be polite and they said all are of the same color. Oh no, every pair is different, all colors, all lined up. Peggy, who had thought up this game, and Maddie, her inseparable friend, were always the last to leave. So Peggy, who had started this game, and Maddie, who was her fast friend, they were the last to leave. Finally, Vanda would move up the street, her eyes dull and her mouth closed, hitching her left shoulder every now and then in the funny way she had, finishing the walk to school alone. And every day they did the same, they asked her the same question, they made fun of her, and she went away. Oh, okay, and she just went away, hitching her shoulders, थोड़ा उसको हिलाते हुए, and then she keeping her mouth closed, went to the school. Peggy was not really cruel, but you would think that Peggy must be cruel, that she is not a good girl, but that was not the case. She was not cruel at all. She protected small children from bullies. Even she protected small children from bullies. Anyone who would try if they try to tease any younger one, she just stopped her. And she cried for hours if she saw an animal mistreated. And if she saw she had sympathy for animals too. And if anybody had said to her, don't you think that this is a cruel way to treat Vanda, she would have been very surprised. Cruel. And if she would say, anyone would say that, why are you so cruel to Vanda? And she would be surprised. Cruel? Why did the girl say she had 100 dresses? She just wanted to know the answer of this question, that why did she say these 100 dresses? Anybody could tell that it was a lie. Anybody could tell that it was a lie. And why did she want to lie? Why did she lie? And she wasn't just an ordinary person. And she wasn't an ordinary person. Else, why did she have a name like that? And why she has a different name? Anyway, they never made her cry. So, now this is the part we have done. It is from the lesson 5, first part we have covered. Rest of the lesson we will cover in the next lecture. So with that, thank you.